SoccerChronicle.com informa Los Cachirules, el podcast con más garra, pasión y picardía que hasta el equipo de todos. Y ahora con ustedes, Albert en Chichis Campa.
All right, episode 12, handing over the hosting responsibilities to Dan. Go ahead.
Hello. Thank you. Hello, loyal listener. Welcome to episode 12 of Los Cachirules. I'm going to say the grittiest podcast in the land, covering the wonderful world of Mexican soccer and more. Today, let's start with, today we'll be discussing the Liguilla, the 3-0 defeat of America, as well as the upcoming game of Tigres and Toluca. So I don't want to take away from, I don't want to get into the analysis or anything. I'd rather just hear Ronnie. What do you got to say about the game? What are your thoughts?
I'm pissed. There's just no other way. I'm pissed. I'm just infuriated. I'm infuriated right now. I mean, you know, don't get me wrong. I'm not making excuses for America. I think in the last 25 something games, they've ended up with 9 players on the pitch. So obviously they're they do have to work on some on the composure. They do have to work on bookings and stuff like that. But I mean I watched the game. I mean, the officiating was clearly one-sided, and I don't understand. So, like, for the first at least 60 minutes, UNAM was on their heels defending, and basically playing in their side, of the field. So I mean, logic would tell you that they're defending, so they're probably going to start taking a little bit, kicking and fouling a little bit more, which they were. But for some reason, they just kept booking. They kept handing the official kept handing America the bookings, and I just don't think they called them equally. The first goal that they scored stemmed from a foul that they committed on Sambu right in midfield in front of the official, which he did not call. That led to the counter going to the attack, and that just really bothered me. And I'm thinking, oh God, here we go again, And it basically took, even when America was down, was down a man. America still had control of the game. And, after that, it took basically a 9-man team for, Pumas to get control and dictate, what they wanted to do. I don't think that this was a case of Memo Vasquez, conceding possession and playing the counterattacking game. I don't think that was the case. I think it was actually, a case of, America just playing better. I mean, because, if you guys remember the first, 20, 25 minutes, America was just, Pumas was trying to attack, but they just couldn't. And obviously, America should have capitalized on their opportunities, which they had, they had quite a bit of them in the beginning. And like I said, that's why I don't want to excuse America, because, they do have to capitalize on them, but it's just the officiating. When I watch a game like that, it just infuriates the hell out of me.
Do you think are you basically putting this on the refs, or?
I mean, it's part of it. I mean, it really is. It's part of it. I mean, I hate seeing that. I hate seeing when your team is clearly superior and dominates and still loses. That just, I can understand. Look, excuse me. I'm just a little, coming off a cold here.
In hindsight, do you think that
if we go back to the Clásico Real Madrid, Barcelona, America's lost those type of games where the opposition was just clearly better. I mean, just hands down, clearly better, and you can accept those kind of defeats. I can accept that. I mean, what was it? I think it was the first year when Piojo took the team to the semifinals. I was pissed in the semifinals, that we lost, but I think that was to Monterrey, and then the next one was to Toluca, if I'm not mistaken. and you accept those. And I said, okay, you can live with it. I don't think that Unam was better. I mean, and you even had, I was reading some of the tweets like Borghetti, basically insinuating that, and obviously, what's his name, Braulio Luna, in the telecast was saying that, America basically looked for it the entire game, but and insinuated that Unam just took advantage of the opportunity. So, and they did, and hats off to them for that. But
And as far as this game goes, do you think not playing Benedetto was impactful, or do you think that we would have meant?
I don't understand. I hope that that Mickey Arroyo, and I hope that Darwin Quinteros. I hope that this is the last games with the club, because I just think they're inconsistent. They're high, they're low, they're high, they're low. It's just I like Pipa Benedetto. I think he's a more consistent player.
I'm sorry, was that a Ronnie or Katy Perry?
What's that?
Nothing, man. Sorry.
Pipa Benedetto, yeah.
You sounded like Katy Perry there for a second with that song. You're cold and you're hot, and you're hot and you're cold.
Hey, I will say this though about the refs.
Yeah.
The ref messed up at the very beginning of the game, disallowing that goal. And then
I knew you were going to say that, but
it really.
You do have to be fair.
Here's the thing, and if you know the rules, when he crossed it into the box, and Britos headed it, Verón basically impeded his vision, and the sides and the linesman could have interpreted that. It could have interpreted that as basically, as an offside, like the pass. So I mean, it's in Spanish they call it criterio de interpretación. So I mean, the ref could have called it either way, and it's not like it's right or wrong, but it's not like it's a scandalous play like oh my God. It could have gone either way because the referee could have interpreted it that way, and it's his right to interpret it that way.
Well, to be fair, though, it was a critical blown call that would have put it 1-0. I don't know who knows how the game would have turned out.
But he was shaky. The ref was shaky after that. He was like calling, and it was heated. The Pumas players admittedly were heated. Verón was heated, and they might have been hacking a little bit, but it was going back and forth after that. And the ref, you can tell he was nervous. He was giving a little bit. To the Pumas players.
I understand that, but the thing about it is when like I said, it's common sense. When you have a team that's on their heels for 50, 60 minutes of the game, and they're attacking, and obviously they're trying to recuperate the ball. I mean, common sense tells you that they're going to be hacking and committing a little bit more fouls than the team that's trying to attack. Yeah, so I don't think he called it equally both ways.
I think they were purposefully. That was Memo Vasquez's plan. It was to stay back, and that's how they played. They played all season is vertical. They didn't have the possession type of game plan, so it was.
Well, they played. Well, hold on. The last game, we can go back to 2 games when America and Pumas played each other, and Pumas won 2-1. Memo didn't sit the team back, basically from the get-go.
It was a different game, but it wasn't that drastic. The game plan was
it was Estadio Universitario, that 2-1 game.
No, it was at the Azteca, and also keep in mind that this is Memo Vasquez also faced America in 2013 when he was with Cruz Azul. And one of the things that he did in with Cruz Azul is that he basically sat the team back in the first leg. They were, I think, I'm not, if I recall, I think it was Chaco Jimenez that scored. I think it was Chaco Jimenez that scored. But basically, from that moment, he sat back, and he sat basically the 90 minutes at the Azteca, the return match, just trying to capitalize on counters. But I mean, when the first goal came, I'm thinking, the first thing that I thought of, okay, Memo Vasquez, he's going to basically do the same thing that he did with Cruz Azul, is that he's going to sit back. And I said, okay, America can handle this. They know how to counter. They know how to they know how to play these type of games. But I just think they didn't do themselves any favors. But Jesus Christ,
But you can hand that to the defense, though. The Pumas' defense was dominant. Veron in the middle, the other two.
But the thing about the thing about it is when you're booking the defense for America and you're not really and on the same type of fouls, you're not booking them for Pumas. It's not really the same game.
Well, he was messing up on both sides. There was a trip in the second half where Sambo just and it was a yellow card on the Pumas player. Sambo just totally faked a foul and flopped on the ground.
No,
it was
no. I know which one you're talking about. I think it was on the right hand side.
On the right side, and he barely he might
right,
have
right side, and basically America still retained possession, and they basically hit him. So I mean, what I'm saying, that's. I just don't see. I just, and it's not like Sambu really fakes fouls. He knows how to get. He knows, and he's smart like that. I mean, he tries to, attract, players to foul him.
But it didn't come.
So when he dives, it's considered being smart playing.
No. What I'm saying is like if you remember how Cuauhtemoc Blanco used to play, is where he can keep the ball close to him, and he can try to get players to foul him, and have them. Obviously when you have a card on you. You're gonna hesitate when you're defending because you don't want to accumulate the other one and get sent off. Sambu's that type of player where he attracts those type of plays, and he just
didn't get hit in this instance, and he.
I disagree. I disagree. I disagree. I think he did get hit there, and they just didn't. He didn't call it because the official wasn't even close by.
And another thing on the if you saw, like I think I mentioned it yesterday, Martin de Palacio did a video of the tactics that Pumas uses, and basically going off of pure stats of the amount of passes that they complete, the possession, the time of possession that they have, and it's very minimal. So you can tell that Pumas plays just from statistics very vertical. The goals that they score are because of.
Oh my God! Tigres just had a shot on goal. By the way, sorry, I didn't mean to, but they just got
they take advantage of their opportunities. They don't get much, but they take advantage of them. And I think that really tells to what how they played today, which they America's coming out hard. This is a Liguilla game. It's like elimination, so it's the real deal. So
that's two. No, it's like he did. That's basically did call it the last time on the last podcast. Talking about how America, they hadn't seen a real defense yet, and and then I think it was easy to say that America was looking like the better team, and clearly they were. But maybe Pumas is just they're never probably gonna overwhelm anybody, but they're gonna get the job done. And today, refereeing aside, they do seem to. They took advantage of the advantages they got. I mean, once I was wondering how the game would be turning out after the America player got sent off, but Pumas responded really well. The changes they made all worked well. It seemed to help the Pumas just put their.
It allowed them to attack.
Their foot on the throat.
After the first expulsion of the second one, because after the first one, even when America was down with and with the 10, they still tried to control the tempo. I didn't really see a major shift in Pumas controlling the game, even when America was with 10. At least
counterattack and play vertical.
Just a quick update. Toluca is bunkering with 8 men in the box and going for the counterattack. Wow, this is gonna be a trash game.
Well, there was a shot on goal that was blocked right now too.
You could say Pumas was bunkering also, but that was a pretty awesome game.
Well, bunkering doesn't always mean bad.
Well, I think it's stupid though if Pumas try to play toe to toe with America though. I mean, knowing there's no secret. America's clearly the more talented team.
Well, but here
Playing away, of course they're going to be playing the counterattack, playing a more defensive. I think it'd be silly of them to just go out and attack, playing away.
But here we go with two things. Clearly, the last game, the Pumas played against Veracruz. There was all controversy as well with the officiating. I mean,
but Pumas was already qualified.
No. What I'm saying is that they disallowed a goal late in the game, and in Veracruz, if basically they scored, they would have advanced.
What you're saying is
no. What my point is this. I mean, is luck really gonna, okay? Will luck?
Well, I think today was more than luck. I think there's a lot more. You can't putting it like that. You're basically blaming it all on the refs.
Well,
they didn't score the 3 goals or allow the 3 goals.
I know, but refs basically got to the point where he wasn't handing the cards the same.
You're saying that the Pumas has been benefited by the refs, and it's been evident in several games.
No, I'm saying that the ref was off.
This game.
Well,
so you think he goofed on that one call and then started probably decided to start making up calls, or make-up calls, I should say.
Well, there was a point. There was a point where he was basically, after America was down with 9. It seems like every time a player would get touched from him, and this happened after that little, the round of fisticuffs, that happened. That
didn't look like much, actually.
No, what I'm saying is it got to the point where the ref probably thought, oh shit, I better start calling some fouls to in favor of America, or else their players are going to start retaliating. So some of the and it usually happens when refs start to do that type of stuff, where they start favoring the team that they were screwing over. It's because they know that they know that they screwed up, or that they screwed up.
That's a lot of stretching, man. But
hey, the global score of the series, the Pumas America series was what was the global score again?
What's that?
The global marcador global
For this
right
one?
now?
For America Pumas, what was the marcador global? This game ended 4-0.
3-0.
The global.
Well, right now.
It's only the first game, so yeah, 3-0.
Oh, okay. All right. What was I? What am I thinking, dude? I thought they had played already. That was the second leg. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. But you know what? Ronnie? Your Jaimes sound really rustled right now.
I am, dude.
Yeah,
I'm pissed. I'm not denying it.
One thing also that Martin tweeted was that in the whole first half, Martin tweeted at halftime, America didn't put Picolín in danger. They didn't get a good shot off. I don't even think he had to block anything. It was just pure defense. So even though America was dominant in possession and attacking, and on the Puma side of the field, there was really no dangerous shot that he had to worry about, or that
What about the one where what's his name? Paul Aguilar, he basically centered, and Oribe basically touched it with the cleat, and literally, almost went in.
I didn't see that one. Oh, actually, I do remember. I don't think it was
there was also a play with Quintero that he ended up launching that probably should have been at least a shot on goal.
Yeah.
I did see glimpses of where they did look good, but ultimately
you have to score. I know that. You have to score.
I think it's one of those games where that one call kind of just started it, and then the second one really got the snowball effect, where it's kind of hard to gauge to see what would have happened. But obviously they held strong for the first half. Joel, did you watch the game? Oh, is he even there?
I think he's
trying to get everybody else. He's at work. Okay. Yeah, I personally, besides laughing a lot, I was pretty impressed with yeah, I was actually pretty impressed with the overall look of Pumas. They looked solid. I personally didn't see that domination that Ronnie looked, and I didn't think that the refereeing was all that one-sided. was.
He didn't seem that much of a factor unless you're an America fan.
Well, keep in mind this is the same ref. Keep in mind this is the same ref that disallowed a legitimate goal against Chivas in the Clásico this year.
Well, he also disallowed a perfectly legitimate goal earlier in the game for the opposing team.
But
also.
No. That the way you interpret that, in Spanish it's called criterio de interpretación. When Britos, what do you call it, headed the ball, Verón was impeding Moises' his line of sight, but the linesman could have the linesman could have interpreted.
Can't we do that though with every single call though, Ronnie? I mean, you're going to be bringing up some of the disallowed goals. Well, we could argue the whole. I mean, that kind of throws your whole premise out the window by saying that the referees were kind of against you the whole time. That's very subjective.
You know what? That happens at at every level, man. You'll have referees. You could come look at any youth game in any country, not just in Mexico. You could look at even the top international, the FIFA internationals at the World Cup, and you will find there's plenty of mistakes that the referees make or questionable calls. So I think a good team finds a way. I mean, that's the human error factor in any soccer game.
No, what I'm saying is assuming would the linesman or even the official be wrong to think that, okay, I centered the ball, I crossed in the ball I sent in the ball to the box, Britos heads it in, and you know how sometimes in those type of set plays, the guy that is near post tries to head it to the far post, and having a guy basically just crash the box.
Yeah,
well, exactly. So I mean, it's not far fetched to think that. So I mean, I don't see I can understand. I can understand a clear handball where the ref sees it, but he doesn't want to call it. I can understand. Oh my God, that's a clear foul and a penalty.
I can see it, but the fact that you didn't see it,
you're always gonna have bad referees, Ronnie.
Right.
It in Moy's way. So I don't. It's sort of like you remember the Gold Cup a while back when Gio scored that golazo. I think Guardado scored a goal and it was trickling in, and Chicharito was right on the line, and he was like tippy-toeing to not touch it.
And he raised his hands up to basically to tell the ref, hey, I'm not participating.
I know, but this happened so quick. It went right past Verón, and Moises just stood there. He didn't even move to try to get it. So he wasn't impeding his vision or anything. It was just he was just happened to be there.
But I'm here. But I would also ask you guys to look at the replay again before it even gets crossed.
I'm watching it. The ref messed up big time.
He wasn't offsides. I think they called him offsides. They called Britos offsides.
Okay, now Britos wasn't offsides, but there was a guy at the far end that was offsides.
That was Verón.
Okay, and so I mean, okay, now granted, Britos was in, Britos maybe Verón at that point was in a passive offsides and Britos wasn't, but it's a matter of interpretation. It's not that it's like blatant.
Well, isn't that most of the fouls that the ref didn't call for America? Supposedly it was a matter of interpretation also. You can't pick and choose. Either they're all a matter of interpretation or not.
They were hitting hard on both sides, I think.
But the logic tells you that if one team is sitting on their heels defending, obviously they're going to be hacking more because they're trying to recuperate.
I don't think that was really the case, though. I don't think they were really hacking.
You know what? I didn't watch the game, guys, but I mean, you guys that watched the game, were the Pumas players late to their tackles, or were they just going in strong, getting stuck in, as the English say?
I don't think they were miscalculating their tackles. I think they were just trying to be physical.
I honestly don't think it was. And you'll watch it, and at least it didn't even strike me as a physical. I mean, once they got down to 10 men, then obviously the game got away. I think a lot more chippier at that point, and they. But then it wasn't even getting that chip. It was just a lot of fake, like that whole the little handbags episode that went down. It wasn't really much, and then one guy did get thrown. I don't know who that was. One of the Pumas players got thrown, and I don't know if that guy got carded for that. Did you guys see who that was? Did you
I mean,
guys see which player that was that got thrown on the ground?
It wasn't a case of these guys being late to tackles and or it was just the roces that the Club America players mentally they were not ready for. That's what it sounds like to me.
No,
I
I just don't think that. I think they weren't called, equally. And obviously, when you book, when you book a center, a defensive midfielder, or you book the back line, it changes the way your defense plays, or at least the mindset of that player, because he's not going to be able to go in there and basically contest every play because because obviously the laws of averages increase, and he's going to probability that he could commit a foul.
Hey,
So
but
refereeing aside, though,
Ronnie, coaches can prepare for that. You can prepare for that in practice. Hey, I'm gonna. How would I field my team if I'm playing a man short?
That's what I was going to ask, actually.
No. Well,
here's
game adjustments.
Here's the thing.
What was the score when they lost a man? When they got a player sent off?
Was one. Shit, what is it? One.
Was the first goal came with already down 10, right?
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, yeah.
And then
but here's the thing. Here's the thing.
And then the other two came.
And, I mean, anybody that's played, and you know that one of the center midfielders or one of the center midfielders or defensive midfielders or center backs, you know that if they're carrying a card, that a strategy is to basically get him out of the game. Exactly. So I mean, obviously, I don't want to say that the entire game is because of the officiating. I don't want to implicate that, but I'm just saying that I think that it did contribute a little, and I just
I mean, that's a valid tactic, Ronnie, right? I mean, Cuauhtemoc used to do that. He used to bait all the players trying to.
Yeah, Sambu's he's an expert in that. He knows how to keep retain the ball and have players trying to take possession and hack at them and basically try to get up players to get it sent off and stuff like that. I just think that
So that means that you're okay with if Sambo plays like that, right? Try to bait the opposing player. So it means you're okay with Neymar doing
no.
and and baiting the players also. So they can get red carded?
That's one of the topics.
I think we are going to get to that. Hold your fire, Pern.
Hold your fire.
I'm just saying, it sounds like Ronnie right here is okay with baiting the opponent one way or the other, right?
I'm with you on that one. You gotta be, kind of what's that word? Consistent.
No. It's not. We're not.
This doesn't fair play or lack thereof.
No. Okay, and I'm assuming you guys have played basketball.
Mexican,
yes.
no.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. When you're dribbling the ball and you have someone behind you, and they're trying to get, you're basically kind of body checking them and stuff like that to the point where they get a little irritated and they try to steal the ball, but basically they commit a foul on you. I mean, it's not that it's not anti fair play and stuff like that. It's just you're trying to get.
Don't mean to interrupt your basketball analogy, but it looks like Gignac might be injured. Wait, no, never mind. He got up.
But I never saw Michael Jordan get a foul call on him because he dunked on somebody. Unless I'm digressing. Sorry, I'll save it.
Karl Malone used to basically attract fouls like a mother.
It's sort of different in basketball. I think what Ronnie's trying to say is he shields the ball with his feet, with his legs, where if you try to go at the ball, his legs are already there. He's smart enough to let his legs position them in the right place where you're not going to get the ball unless you foul him.
And that's another sort of showboating. Oh yeah, I can defend the ball better, and you can't get it. You know what I mean?
I think it is different, Ronnie, but I think it is geared around with the same purpose. I think it all has the same goal in mind: is to get under your opponent's skin, and if you could piss them off and get them to do something stupid, then so be it.
But here's okay. You know what? No more Medicaid. We're going into showboating now. Showboating mode now.
I guess we're gonna have to go there. Yeah.
I guess. Oh, it's on. We be beefing now.
All right.
Hey,
I do
keep
think
in
there's a lot
All
of
mind.
right. All
contradictions,
right.
Ronnie,
All right.
because
Okay.
you just seem to pick and choose of what things you want to
No, no. All right. All right.
like
Well,
put on
let's
a
tell. Let's
pedestal
tell.
as do's and do
Let.
nots. So let's hear this.
All right. Let's tell the viewers of what's going on. Okay. We've been for the past, since the classic of the Barca Real Madrid. In our personal chat, we've been arguing about the foul that Neymar,
Suffered
Isco,
under
sorry,
Isco.
Isco
yeah,
red
yeah,
card, and
yeah,
eventually led to it.
Isco's red card. In that red card or that foul that Isco committed was basically a retaliation on a showboating, play that Neymar did, where he basically he did one of those little trick passes when the game was 4-0. And obviously, Isco took that as an insult. There was no need for that type of play. I basically, of the opinion that, Neymar is not innocent in this, because when you're basically the game is already in the bag and you're winning by that type of margin, there is no need to showboat. And one of the things that I said is that there's unwritten rules in not just soccer but in many sports that you're supposed to even when you win with humility.
So
And
Ronnie,
and Neymar has a history. Neymar has a history of showboating in those type of games. And I told and I brought up the game, the Copa del Rey.
I think it was Xavi who spoke to him, right? Or
Yes, because after Atletico Bilbao, he was showboating towards the end of the game, and the players were trying to eat him alive, and then Xavi was basically defending him, and then after the game, he basically said, "Hey, Neymar's a wonderful kid. He really is humble, but he needs to understand that that's not acceptable."
So let me ask you this though: if so, you're saying how he was dribbling and what he was doing was kind of not cool because of the scoreline. So
Yes.
you're saying that if it was 0-0 and the game was in the bounce, or if they were even losing, then if it was something that needed to be done and it worked, then you're okay with it, correct?
Well, it's part of. I mean, it's part of the.
That won't work.
I know.
That
Just
won't-
answer. Like I'm trying to get to a point. I'm just wondering.
Yeah, it would be okay.
Well, obviously, if you can juke your player
Okay.
with a nutmeg or a rabona or some sort of trick play, and the game is tight and the game is closed, obviously it's valid. No,
Okay.
no one's gonna get pissed off because of that.
All right. So having said that,
But if
what happens? But and my point is this: that's one game. They're trying to win a league. If even though this game is in the bag, the league isn't. And if you could pile on top of a 3-0 win and get somebody sent off to affect them for their next game, I mean, whether it was premeditated or not, I think it's a brilliant result for Barcelona at the end of the day. I mean,
And that's exactly the point we're trying to make.
No.
It's still up
No,
for
but-
grabs.
No. Here's another thing. Here's my point. You can still run up the score, and I meant to this. Like you can't run, like in baseball, you cannot run. If you run up the score, you better not steal bases because it's an unwritten rule that the pitcher's supposed to be the batter.
I get that, but
there's
what's
unwritten
more
rules.
valuable to you, though?
Now,
A 4-0 win or a 3-0 win with one of the guys getting sent off? I think a 3-0 loss and one of your guys getting sent off is more valuable to Barcelona than just a 4-0 win.
No, it doesn't.
I mean,
because a 4-0 game is more important, and I'll tell you why. In 2000, the 2006 qualifiers or the 2002 qualifiers, Uruguay and Colombia tied with the same amount of points, and the difference was the goal differential. So under no way am I saying that you're not to run up to the score. If Barca, Real Madrid can score 6 goals, 7 goals, 8 goals, hey, you have to, because that may be the determining factor if you're going to be champion. But I don't think
if the heel pass is what results in a goal, I mean, I don't see. What I see, the line of thinking to me is incorrect, but because there's no coach that's gonna tell you, hey, do the rabonas, do the megs, do all these things when the game is 0-0, and every possession is basically putting the game on the line. So that kind of thinking, I've never seen. I mean, you guys played different levels, but I don't think there's any coach at any level that will say, hey, dude, yeah, you got toda la crema, sácala cuando el partido está en riesgo. Most coaches will tell you, hey, you know what, don't try those kind of moves until we're winning 2-0, 3-0. The game is in the bag.
I don't think they even say that. Yeah, I think Neymar even does like his fancy moves more so during like when Brazil plays Mexico than he does at Barcelona. It's just the way he is. He has more confidence against a team like Mexico than he does against any.
It's not that it's not that he has more confidence when he plays against Mexico. He knows that Mexico plays open, and there's more room. Obviously, a team that's going to bunker, he's not going to have those type of same liberty.
So basically, he can do whatever he wants to do that, but he also has to realize that someone's going to hack him. So it could backfire. It could it could get somebody.
And I have no sympathy. I have no sympathy for a player that's showboating when there's no need to showboat, and then they get hacked. I have no sympathy for that.
Well, it's like
but he fell for it though. He got baited.
But the thing about it
is,
what's that?
Imagine, okay, just think about it. Let's say if Isco did not get red card, he didn't fall for the bait, and the next game is Eibar, he would have scored 2 goals. So instead of being 2-0, the game ended up 4-0.
Do you think Isco's really going to be the difference between whether they win 2-0 or 3-0?
It can be. You got to remember, one less player means less rotation, less opportunities, less options. That is a win.
Honestly, it would mean that Isco would be arrested up for a Champions League game. So it kind of, it would actually help. It would help, playing, maybe a youngster or a guy that's a journeyman or something.
Wait, a red card is going to help the team now?
No. What I'm saying, it's going to rest him, so they can, fulfill their, Copa del Rey or Copa or.
It doesn't really matter.
Exactly.
They're actually out of Copa del Rey because Benitez. What I want to mention.
I don't think it's official. I don't think it's official yet about the
being out.
Yeah,
but Isco's a bigger part of the team than you guys are giving him credit for, because I remember after the game, I think he took out James and he brought in Isco, right, as a sub. And after the game, one of the things Benitez said was, hey, you know what? The loss is my fault because I chose the wrong starting 11, which to me is a sign that obviously he sees a bigger role for Isco than he's been using him. And secondly, kind of indirectly throwing James under the bus, which is besides the point that we're talking about. But I think, Isco might be more important than we're willing to admit.
Yeah, he's not that important. If you want to say that, he can red card, and it's no big deal. But the fact is, I think Neymar, he can do all that stuff. But if he does, he's going to get hit. If he wants to do
no doubt.
That's the whole point.
That's fine.
It's a red card.
Any player at any level that's doing that stuff, they know what's coming, and they're probably looking for it. But
that's
still
exactly the point.
Yeah, if you get injured, you get injured.
So the two Madrid pundits that basically were condoning, the foul that Isco did, because basically Isco, he said, "Hey, bullshit! You ain't gonna do this crap in my house."
Yeah, that's fine. They can condone it.
But Barcelona.
Everybody can condone it.
But Barcelona was is basically filing against the commission of anti violence or whatever. And
if there was a rule that was broken, then why not?
Well, I'm not that familiar with the Spanish laws to tell you if they have a rule against inciting violence, because that's basically
if you're inciting violence,
what you have to recognize, Ronnie, is those two guys, they played in a different era. Back then you would hack player. There was a lot more hacking in the 80s and the 70s, and so they come from a different era. You don't do that. There's not that kind of contact in the modern game. Just look at it. All the games that look at Maradona. Look at that injury he got with Atletico Bilbao. I don't even think the guy that hacked him got sent off. Maybe he did. I don't remember anymore.
Oh, penal for Tigres looks like. Oh, damn it, man. That's BS. Now that's bad refereeing right there. Oh my God, you. Oh man, this is trash.
But even
But
but
anyway,
you
Those
but
guys come
even
from a different era, is my point.
no. What
And
I'm saying is,
soccer was a lot different then. You know,
but
oh
now
my God, what a dive! Oh, that trash player.
I
but
mean,
even even when there's full on Royal Rumbles and stuff like that, even in the modern day, you know, even players that incite, even though they didn't throw the first punch, but incite the violence for whatever they do, they usually get suspended too. Now, I'm not saying that Neymar should be suspended. I'm just saying is that what do you call it? That for Neymar to showboat, he's not innocent because he has a record of this in Brazil, and obviously he's already done this in Spain.
you
And even Xavi called him out on it, publicly, saying, "Hey,
years
you
ago,
know,
right? But
Dude, this is
Barcelona as an
disgusting, man.
organization is standing behind them because they're taking these guys. They're reporting these guys to some committee that monitors violence, the
what, no,
anti-violence committee.
I
So
think
now,
it's
now,
not.
now,
It's not.
that's Xavi's
question.
Why
opinion as a
bill him?
player. I mean, that could be
Okay,
Xavi's opinion as a player, and even
No,
Barcelona.
what Barcelona's doing is they're trying to protect $100 million investment. That's what they're trying to do. It's not because they're
oh,
standing behind it.
oh, blocked! Oh my God! What? No!
Hey man, I'm lagging. They still haven't taken the penalty on my.
Oh, I'm
phone.
sorry.
You know,
Gotta get
to
better
me,
internet.
Ronnie, to me, I see no difference between Neymar, making these guys doing elasticos, sombreritos, or Cuauhtemoc poking guys in the stomach, in the ear,
Amazing.
pulling their hair, kind of, or I mean, hey, that's all part of the game. And I think, like you mentioned one time, what was one of Carlos Alberto's comments? Tres por chillón, tres por
No,
chillón
no,
y
no,
tres por
no, no. Tres por
por
chismoso,
mitotero,
tres
tres
por
por chismoso.
chismoso, y tres por la agresión. But
Exactly.
the context was that, but Cruz Azul, Santos was basically beating Cruz Azul, and Darwin Quinteros was rubbing it in, and then that Cruz Azul player, the Argentine player, basically calls him a señor de mierda, basically a monkey piece of shit. And
Yeah.
and
Yes,
and
we
obvi-
know. We know. Thank you for the translation, though.
okay,
I mean, these guys are professionals, Ronnie. They should be able to handle this
no.
kind of controversy.
What I'm saying is that Darwin Quinteros reacted, even though he started it, and he elbowed the guy.
These
You know,
pundits were also rustled, man. They're
who
rustled. These
who
pundits.
And
They're
you know what?
Madrid fans. They're rustled.
You know what that means? That means
Not
that
all the Real
Neymar did a good
Madrid
job.
pundits agree with them. Not all the Real Madrid pundits agree with them, and they brought it up to them to see if they would backtrack on what they had said. This is what Barcelona.
But I think
They're
anything that
attacking
comes
his
out of
fans.
the, I think
All they
anything
said
that
was, "I
comes
would
out
do
of
the same."
out of those papers, though, it's going to be extremely biased. I mean, they don't even try to hide the fact. I mean, they're homers. So I mean, obviously, you're going to hear a very skewed version of whatever happened, and probably an extreme opinion too.
Which brings us back to the Toluca game. The first half is over, and Monserrat Talavera just stopped a great ball from Guignac, which is totally justice because the ref was trash.
Okay, all I'm saying is that it's either fair play or you don't do fair play.
No, man. I
Because
don't agree.
because
That's
because
fair
you
play.
because you
Fair
because
play
you
is something
because
else.
you're a hypocrite. You
Nisco?
don't. I mean,
You just brought up a second ago of your boy, the Cuauhtemoc,
Sambu.
his Cuauhtemiña.
And
I didn't bring
Sambo
that.
too.
I didn't bring that
These
up.
are all just tactics.
That's not fair play.
No, I think he mentioned it before the show. But yeah, dude, I mean, it's no
Hey,
different.
hold. A
And
nutmeg, and all those type of things. Those are skills. I'm saying is that the showboating, when the game is already in the bag, and you're just trying to humiliate the player, the team, and the player. I said there's no need for that in every sport. Winning
In
with
every sport, it actually happens, though.
It's like freedom
no.
of speech.
No.
You can do what you
how
want.
is
You
running
see
up the
teams
score
running
not
71 to
humiliating for these
nothing.
guys, dude?
In every sport, winning with humility is part of the sportsman behavior where win with dignity.
If you're
Just
like
like you're supposed
80,
to lose.
I think if
Dude,
you're 80, then that's
this guy's
really important.
Brazilian.
I mean,
It's part of the game. It's normal. It's like that one
absolutely.
Honduran dude that was blowing kisses to Cuauhtemoc. It worked. Got him red carded.
I think Ronnie, you should
This
if
guy's
you're gonna apply
Brazilian,
losing with
man. That's
dignity,
part.
you should
The
you should
showboating is
definitely
part of the
say.
culture.
Oh,
Neymar's
sorry, go ahead.
Brazilian. He's not Catalan. He doesn't have those values since he was a kid. He came to Barcelona when he was 20.
You need to accept that too.
I forgot his age exactly, but he's changed. He's changed.
That is BS. That is BS.
Ronnie, I think you have this
romantic
vision of what you want these games to look like, and I could appreciate that too. I mean, you want them to play a certain way and
no.
What
I'm saying
my
is,
point. Hold on a sec. I'm just saying. I think other people have different opinions as far as like how are you going to get a result. Now, some people think it's like, all right, I'm going to play a particular way the right way. Others like, you know what? I don't care what your way is. I'm going to try to get in your head, and if that means I insult your mother, if that means I grab your balls, or if that means I fake an injury, I'm going to try to win no matter what the circumstances is. If I'm short on talent, I'm going to make it up with the little clever play. I think it's all part of it. I think it's all just part of it.
I think you know, you gotta support the entertainers in the game. You don't have
hold on.
The last guy was Ronaldinho.
I'm not saying no talking trash. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying no trick plays. I'm not
that's
saying
on the field. The fans don't see the trash talking. What the fans see is the guy that has the ball.
I'm not saying
the guy that providing the entertainment.
So was Materazzi okay in provoking Zidane?
Yeah, Zidane's a hothead. He was cool. It's a World Cup final, man.
It's a World Cup. It's legit.
I just think you're picking and choosing at that point.
It's not picking and choosing.
Where to draw the line?
No. Because when the game is already in the bag, dude. At what point? I was in attendance. I was at the game with Zidane. At what point did they control the game, or was the game in the bag? It wasn't. The shit talking is part of the game, and I agree with that. In fact, when
war was at stake, it cost them the game.
What's that? And good for
Barcelona have the league title in the bag.
And the league title is not in the bag right now.
The league title is in the bag.
It's not the league.
Not in the bag.
The league. It doesn't matter because you're still having to play half a season.
Dude,
every
matters. Why don't they keep count of how many yellow cards they get? How many? They keep count because it matters. It affects the long-term results of the team during the season.
Isn't red cards or yellow cards a tiebreaker too?
It's distant. Usually, it is a tiebreaker, like the fair play.
To me,
that means that Neymar is a genius.
That's secondary, dude. To me, as a fan, that stuff is secondary. The cards.
Okay. All right.
It's still
put it this way.
Showboating, dude. You need showboating in soccer. You need it, man.
Okay, look,
I know some fans like in Mexico, and there's a lot of coaches that say, "Hey, te resbalas con tu crema," but hey, dude, guys, the fun guys watch.
Hey, Juan.
Yeah.
Who won the in the 80s? In the 80s, the Chivas lost the final. They lost, aside from losing the finals to America, they lost another finals to a team. Do you remember who that team was?
No, man, I don't remember.
Puebla. Now, what do you remember about that?
Dude, I don't remember.
Okay. Now, basically, this is what happened in that Royal Rumble between America and Chivas in the semifinals.
Is that La Puente was the coach of Puebla, right? That was in the
exactly. It was exactly. What happened was that America. This is in what is it? 82, 83. Yeah, 82, 83. Basically, America set a record I think to this day it still stands. I mean, they were unstoppable. And basically, Alberto Guerra, the coach, comes in halftime. He's like, guys, if you guys basically gives them the green light to start hacking, to show some life out there. So they basically started hacking, and Codesal was the official, and basically wasn't calling the game properly, and basically tempers flared. Now, as a result, what do you call it? Chivas ended up started winning, and I think they were up 3-0. But the tempers flared, and in just a full-on Royal Rumble. Now it benefited America because at that point, if I'm not mistaken, almost half of your starting players did not play in that final. So the point that I'm trying to make is, assuming let's say that Neymar showboating. When he doesn't need to showboat because the game is in the bag, a player responds a certain way, kicks the living shit out of him. Okay, obviously some Barcelona players are going to come in and try to defend him. What's not to say that a full-on Royal Rumble occurs? You screw your team. Because I mean, in that particular case, in 1983, and then back again in 1986 or 85, when they had another full Royal Rumble, basically, America's
the Royal
players,
Rumble didn't happen. We're not in the 80s.
No.
Isco got kicked down.
What I'm saying is that.
But on the same token, Ronnie, shouldn't you also blame Isco? I mean, look, it's like, why are you going to risk getting a red card? Like, I know he's embarrassing you, but just take it and let's just move on to the next game. I mean, you can't just do it both ways. I mean, they're both equally guilty. I mean, it's like, you know what?
That's my whole point.
Like, if you're angry about losing, then stop them. I mean, don't be like. I think if anything, it just makes them look silly. The retaliation kicks. I personally just laughed at them more. It doesn't mean you're cool or tough because you're fighting back. That's just
he embarrassed himself. Embarrassed Real Madrid.
Dude, anybody that ever played a sport, there's games where nothing goes your way.
True.
It's not because you suck.
So why make things worse?
Dude, but you know what? The worst part is Real Madrid is actually the better team.
No, they were not. They're not.
They were, man. It's just Benitez tactics, dude. They're so predictable. I don't know if you guys paid attention. Barcelona, for when they were defending, they had 8 players on the edge of their 18. You know, and they were basically bunkering. That's why I mentioned to you. Did you guys notice that Barcelona was bunkering?
Well, they also changed their formation, didn't they? Didn't they change their lineup though? I mean, I could have sworn that Real Madrid went back with an old formula from the previous year that probably hadn't even been played this season.
Dude, Benitez is living off old tactics and past glories, dude. He's a hack. In my opinion, he's a hack.
Yeah, I think so too. And
I think he's living off his early days in Liverpool and his days in Valencia, if I'm not mistaken.
You know, I don't think Isco lashed out because Neymar was showboating as much as the whole team was frustrated. Because I mean, if you look at clips of Ronaldo's reaction to when James gets subbed out, I mean, they're basically in disbelief. They're like, dude, what's he doing? What is this guy? Why is he subbing him out? So I don't think it's as big as Isco trying to defend the maiden's honor or whatever, trying to keep Real Madrid.
I mean, you kind of have two extremes. You have Andres Iniesta, who gets a standing ovation, and then you have Neymar, who basically people were cheering when he was when he got hacked. So
Iniesta gets the ovation, right?
Yeah, and it's because of the class. Pujols was.
Yes, the class. But it's not because of that game specifically, dude. It's that that player.
It's a career. It's a career. It's a long career where the guys played the game. Yes, the right way.
I think he won a lot of fans over when he took off his shirt.
And I know, Dan, and I know that bothers you. I know that saying bothers you the right way because in the American sporting landscape, when they say you have to play the sport the right way, it basically says, hey, you got to play the sport the right way, the white way,
Well, Barcelona was playing the game the right way. They were winning 4-0.
That's that he does, dude. So
that's
I don't
the
know
right way.
It's just playing, finding the simplest answer.
Yeah, I think saying the right way, it's obviously very subjective, depending on where you come from or what you like watching or what attracted you to the sport. That's what you're going to consider the right thing. Obviously, at your age, you grew up watching probably La Puente, and you're still in love with them today. And I can sympathize, Ronnie. I'm not like I'm guilty as charged as well. Like I mean, I see Rafa Marquez, and I still think he can do no wrong.
Don't make me have to be a mother hen here, dude. And I've said this many times. Dude. I'm not prude about this, or I'm not politically correct about this. I said part of what attracts me to the game is the violence. I said I make no mistake. I don't apologize for that. I mean, there's a reason why I like these type of games because I do like the violence.
I just don't understand why you're so opposed to
Because I find
The smearing, the shoving their face in it. I don't see why you're so close to that.
I find it hypocrisy of the fair play that it's either all or nothing. That's
You
what
know-
that's the hypocrisy that I find.
And I don't see
It's
that
either
it has anything to do with fair play.
You
What's
know what?
that?
When the Patriots had their 18-1 season, they had Tom Brady on the radio. There was a radio station that had him on the radio. He's like, hey, how do you see about fans complaining and pundits complaining that you guys are running up the score? You know what Tom Brady's response was? He said, you know what? The fans that are complaining from the opposing teams, they should talk to their players, because that's their players that are they're not playing well. It's not our fault. We're trying to play perfect every play, it's not
No,
specific.
hey, but his
point was, hey, these guys are professionals. Hey, talk to your players. They need to step it up. And I think if Neymar is able to get away with some showboating, then that means they need to sign some better defenders to shut them down.
Or not get scored 4 goals so he can showboat.
Or not give up 4 goals, yeah, so he can showboat. And as far as Iniesta, I don't think they clapped him off specifically because he was classy on the field. It's just, he's a guy that won. He scored the winning goal for Spain, which they obviously they love him in Spain for that. And also he's a classy guy. He took off his shirt and celebrated at Dani Jarque, which was one of their national team teammates. He played for their rival, and I think his class is not just because he doesn't do any sol V's or sol L's. I mean, he's got his own move that he does, the croqueta, which is just as deadly as anything Neymar does.
All right, guys. I think we should move on from this because we're just gonna be going in circles. But I do see that the second half for Toluca versus Tigres is starting, and I'm still so happy that justice was done and Gignac missed that goal.
So, real quick, I guess I kind of screwed up in the beginning, and I didn't really get a chance to introduce. But now that I guess since we're a full cast now, I guess I'll go briefly and say hello, Fernando. What's going on? Sorry, just to make sure, just to give everybody a heads up on who's with us today. We also have Joel, who's I believe on silent or stealth mode. John Jagu, who just joined us momentarily. Can't wait to hear your thoughts on the game. Juan Uribe, and we also have Albert Campas. I hope that's how he wanted me to say it.
Tengo
miedo. We have Ronnie.
Tengo miedo.
So please continue, or do we want to discuss part of the Toluca Tigres game? I was watching part of it, or John, do you want to talk about the America Pumas game if you're there?
Yeah, John needs to finish Ronnie's Jaimes off.
What's that?
John should finish Ronnie's Jaimes.
Oh, okay, yeah, I know. That's what I was kind of hoping for, because it seems like Beto took it easy on him.
Yeah, he's on life support right now.
So when I was watching part of the game right now, it looked like, I'm not sure if you were watching it, if anybody else is watching it, besides a
I'm watching it.
I'm watching it also.
Is the second half already underway?
Yeah, it just started.
It just started, and Toluca's still bunkering with 8 men on the back. And believe it or not, I thought Tigres will probably want to cede possession too, but no, they're going all out. They're all attacking. So that's one good thing.
I saw about 4 or 5 shots on goals. I mean, not
Aquino's playing
great
surprisingly
chances.
well also. He's been running really good.
He had a bit of a weak shot, right?
I'm listening to it on the radio, so I don't have the TV feed, but is Aquino on the left and Dam is on the right wing?
That's correct.
You know what? What I heard these guys mention is that Osorio is in the stadium watching this game.
Oh,
maybe I haven't seen him.
That's what it says on the Univision website.
They haven't showed a picture of him that I've seen.
That's some good preparation by Osorio then. Man. He's definitely going to lead us to victory.
Hey, guys.
It's routine, man.
Hey.
Fern, that's routine, dude. You had when Chepo was in charge, he was going to watch the U15s, making sure everything was in order. He would go watch the. So I think that's routine, man.
Yeah, as a national team, there's not a whole lot of games going on. I mean, you better be doing something with your time.
Hey, did you guys see that Porto game?
Hey,
3 Mexicans starting.
yeah. Hey, quick thing. 16 new names implicated in the FIFA scandal, and not one Mexican.
Oh, that's because
So-
according
yeah.
to Bill Archer, it's a Mexican conspiracy to get Compián to be president, which apparently he is, correct?
That is so stupid. And can I just say, first of all, Mexico doesn't need CONCACAF, but CONCACAF needs Mexico. So why on earth would Mexico tip the scales in order for them to run a rinky-dink organization?
I
Bill
laughed.
Archer rustled.
I laughed so hard because obviously he doesn't know who Compián is. Compián is a puppet, meaning he's a head. He's not an owner of an MFL team. He's just an executive. But I just thought that it was hilarious because, how many, what there were, 14, 15 guys implicated the first round?
Yeah.
And then you got 16 guys implicated now? So what's the over-under on the third round that you'll have a Mexican in there?
I think they're done, honestly.
I think there's going to be another round, and I guarantee you're not going to find one Mexican in there.
Yeah, they're just. That's the thing, though, is that the Mexican owners. I mean, they make a ton of money. So why on earth would they need kickbacks?
I know. I mean, it's like you're paying for the party, and you're going to steal from yourself. You know.
You know what too is didn't Mexico, they used to control CONCACAF before, and then when Chuck Blazer came in, he took over control. So basically, he started bribing everybody. So the Mexican bribes, they weren't getting through anymore, right?
But keep in mind. Although there was a Mexican in CONCACAF, Mexico didn't control CONCACAF though.
Exactly.
No. What I'm trying to say is that Joaquin Soria Terrazas, he basically started. He started back in like in the 1940s and 50s. He was the head honcho. He was the head honcho of the amateur sector of the Mexican Federation, which in that time had more power than the first division. He was outed, and apparently there was he didn't like Cañedo, the father. He didn't like Cañedo, so basically, he kind of in a way he kind of was like a malinchista, that he kind of there's a reason why Mexico didn't go to like the '74 World Cup, '82 World Cup, is because Terrazas, in order for him to retain power in CONCACAF, he kind of screwed over Mexico, because Johnny, and you remember this. Those World Cup qualifiers, they were usually set in other places. They weren't round robin.
Yeah, that was like a tournament, like a mini tournament, like a mini gold. Really, it was the Gold Cup, is what it was.
Exactly, because
in Honduras at that time, no, in '82.
Yeah, it was all in Honduras, and the one in '74 was in Haiti. Imagine spending 2 weeks in Haiti.
Yeah,
that sounds like a Quentin Tarantino movie.
So basically, he wasn't. So I mean, obviously, he doesn't know his history because a Mexican would never have allowed that. But he says, okay, well, I lost power in the Mexican Football Federation. I can still rule down here with the minnows. And in order for me to basically, and in order for me to keep controlling the minnows, I got to do what they want to do. And the Central American teams and the Caribbean teams, their only shot at that time for them to go to the World Cup was to ensure that they would have the World Cup qualifiers in one nation in their countries.
Yeah,
so
that happened a few times. But I mean, honestly, it's so funny to me because I mean, who runs Femex Food, right? It's Televisa. I mean, there's no question, right? So who are they going to bribe themselves for TV rights?
Well, isn't the implication that they were bribing the other countries to get what they wanted?
The implication was
they were taking bribes to sell the TV deals,
sell
to
the marketing
middlemen.
rights, exactly. So somebody comes and pays. All right, I want $500,000 for the rights, $500 million rather, and that's their bid, and then of course the under the table bid is, and I'll give y'all each $3 million or whatever, whatever the price is. And yeah, so that's and then of course the idiots did it in dollars and they didn't use U.S. banks. Don't they understand that that's what Swiss banks are for?
I think they were just thinking that nobody. I think they're just going under that. I
I
know.
under that whole assumption that nobody pays attention to soccer.
The other problem that I think that is lost on this whole thing is, it may not happen in the U.S., but frankly, this is just the cost of doing business everywhere else in the world.
Yeah,
It just is.
it is. You're right. You're right.
So
And
why is this such a big deal?
Well, honestly, and this is just me, spitballing here, but I think that this is a big deal because I think that there's geopolitical plays.
Oh, there's no question there is. They're making the developing world look bad.
If England would have got it, or Australia would have got it, or the U.S. would have gotten the World Cups, I don't even think this would be an issue. And obviously, you're right. I mean, because the fact that they used U.S. banks when they could have used Caribbean banks, the Cayman Islands, or the
exactly. I mean, jeez.
The gringos are just being sour grapes, man. That's really all it is.
They got rustled.
Well, see, the other thing that gets me is that this is not a FIFA scandal. It has nothing to do with FIFA. Nothing to do with FIFA. This is a CONCACAF scandal and a CONMEBOL scandal.
You know what? Honestly, and you guys may probably. I don't think you guys are going to agree with me here.
Remember when England was trying to bid for the World Cup? They complained that Jack Warner was asking for bribes, and they were like, "Hey, wait a minute, what's going on here? We're England. We deserve the World Cup. We invented this thing." I don't know if you guys remember. It was a few years back.
Yeah, I remember.
So I think definitely even
I got to tell you, man, Aquino's playing really well. Anyway, so
the defense is doing well too. The Toluca defense.
Tell us, Ronnie, what we're not gonna agree with you about, please.
Honestly, I don't think that Sepp is really. I think he turned a blind eye, not knowing what was going on, as long as he just kept power. I don't think that he took money.
Well, that's the thing, though, is that it doesn't matter. I mean, he doesn't. I mean, his reputation's whatever. But my point is that all of these scandals have nothing to do with FIFA. They have nothing to do with FIFA.
Hold on. I think that in all the implications, I think they've had two FIFA. Well, actually, you know what? Come to think of it, what is it, before the 2006 World Cup? What was it that that company went under?
IMG.
Yeah.
What's it called? IMG.
Yeah.
Well, it was IMG's predecessor, whatever it was.
Or TSM.
Yeah, that's what it was.
So I mean, that's really and I remember at the time the general secretary, what's his name, Jerome Val something, I forget his name. Valky, he basically, was trying to expose Blatter, but Blatter was, too much of a trickster to expose him. But I just, you got to hand it to fucking Blatter, dude. That guy is cunning as hell. I don't remember who posted this in Big Soccer, but he basically put anti-gifs of of telenovelas on that whole FIFA scandal. Do you guys remember that? Vaguely. Oh, okay, never mind.
God, that Toluca defense, man. Wow.
Colima, he's the guy that does all the pictures.
But but you're right though, Bob. I mean, and again, it's just they're the problem is that the first world Western countries don't like the fact that they have to go through all these, what they would consider, I guess they're just upset. They're like, why do these guys have all the power? The developing. I mean, they have all the power.
Well,
they get mad that it's one country, one vote, and
it's by design. It's easier to control a bunch of little minnows than two big conglomerates.
Now, question, John, do you agree with that? One FA, one vote.
Do I agree with it?
Yeah.
I have mixed feelings. I think that if you're going to compete in because the World Cup isn't just the tournament; it's the whole thing. it's the qualifying and the whole bit. So I think if you're going to compete, then I think you do get a right. You do get a right to vote. But if you're not competing,
Tiro de esquina
then
for
maybe
Toluca. Tiro de esquina.
So,
Hey, but don't countries like what's that called, the Dutch Antilles and
that's fine.
Guadeloupe?
If they field the team, well, that's my point. Is that if they are eligible and then they can compete in the tournament,
They're not
field.
eligible, and
Well,
I
then
think they get.
it should be like the DC or Guam, where we're like they don't, they might get to participate, but they don't get to vote. Does that make sense?
My take on this is that those that have the dough should control the show. And I mean, I know that's not very democratic, of me to say, but
Well, I've always thought that the World Cup should be once in Europe and then once somewhere else. Back in Europe, Europe should host it every 8 years. Every other World Cup should be in Europe because of that reason.
Yeah, well, I agree with you to the thing, but the ones that are not going to be in Europe, and it's funny because I say this because the U.S. was hosted it in '94, but my take is this: is if you don't have the stadium, you don't have the infrastructure for it.
But that's the point, is that they don't want countries that have the stadium and the infrastructure. They don't, because that means they get to build stuff, and that means they get to really.
And that's where they hide the money, and that's where the money.
Absolutely.
And I understand that, and that's one of the things is that if you have to build stadiums, and if you have to build hotels,
Oh my God!
you have to. You have no business, because I mean, if you don't have an established league, and those stadiums are not full, or at least to almost to full capacity before the World Cup, you have no business. You have no business hosting a World Cup. That's just my opinion. And that I mean that goes for be it China, be it India, or whoever.
Sure. No, I mean there should be a requisite that if you're gonna try to bid for it, you have to have
Even Brazil
at least
had to build all kinds of stuff.
No, but Brazil wanted to build a bunch of stuff. They didn't have to.
They built a stadium in the jungle.
Dude, they built 10 stadiums. I could understand them building one.
And they didn't. And you know what? And they didn't have to build. And that's actually one of the that's one of the criticisms of Brazil, is that they spent a lot of public money on things that they shouldn't have.
Yeah, things they didn't need to do.
Yeah,
So I mean, dominating, man.
Dude, you can dominate all you want if it's still 0-0. I don't mean jack. Ask America how they were dominating today.
Hey, don't wrestle Ronnie with that.
Hey, honestly, that first half performance by America was sublime. It was beautiful. It was the prettiest soccer I'd ever seen. I was so enthralled by it. I almost felt bad when Puma scored their first goal. That it was like, man, that's such a great performance going.
That's why.
Oh my God!
That's why soccer. That's why soccer and boxing piss me off, because you could fucking control, dominate, impose your fucking way the entire damn game, and then lose. You one fluke goal or one fluke punch, and boom, you're on your ass.
She's a cruel mistress. She is.
So in the end, it was the result that mattered. That's all I have to say about that.
No, it's true. No, it doesn't matter how you play.
You know what though? America still, I mean, based on the porcentaje, they've been the most consistent team in the league. They've been the best team in the league, maybe.
No, they have definitely have completely turned the corner, and they are where they should. I mean, and I mean this in the highest respect. They are where they should belong, and Chivas should belong there too, and Puma should belong there, and Cruz Azul should, and Tigres and Toluca. I mean, we should have 5 or 6 really good teams, and Monterrey. And
Damn right.
So,
I don't know if you could include a Cruz Azul in that anymore.
Of course you can. I mean, they had a bad season. It's not bad. I mean, they're a very consistent team too.
They're the champions. They're the champions of memes.
Cruz Azul, despite not winning, dude, so many finals that they reached, both in Libertadores and CONCACAF and League. I mean.
But how often?
I said this. No,
still considered a big team?
But not off the. I'm not. This is recent, dude. Like I mean, how many finals did they make in the '90s and even in the 2000s? Dude,
they're like the Buffalo Bills, man.
And remember, I made that point.
They're the Susan Lucci of Mexican soccer. They get nominated every year. And
They're
every
like
year they go home with just a goodie bag.
Up
or
until
Leonardo DiCaprio.
up until like 2-3 seasons ago, when America overtook them, Cruz Azul, and this is kind of impressive because they've only been in the first division since like the mid '60s. They had more playoff appearances than any other team in the league. Just up until like I said, 2-3 seasons ago, America was second, and they overtook them as to more playoff appearances.
It's funny. When I was a kid, I used to just hate Cruz Azul, but they were so much fun to watch because they played such great soccer that it just made you so mad. And they had, Miguel Marin was such a great goalie. Have y'all ever seen his autogol?
Yeah.
Classic. But anyway,
This game's getting good. Toluca versus Tigres is going back and forth now.
But you're right though. I mean, they've been one of the most consistent teams for the past 40 years.
Yeah,
so of course they belong. Absolutely, they belong.
Yeah, they have. They like I said, they haven't won, but they've been consistent. On the other hand, Chivas, they haven't been as consistent, in the last 30 years.
No, it's been very unfortunate.
Gignac shaved his beard. That's why they're losing or tied.
Oh, Gignac, yeah. He looks like a Boy Scout. Wow.
What's the score right now, gentlemen?
0-0.
0-0.
Still 0-0.
It's a great game, though.
By the way, I have to give it up to Talavera on that penalty save. That was really impressive. That is, obviously, he guessed right, but to do what he did, I don't know if y'all saw it. That was a good penalty kick.
That's intimidating. When you're trying to shoot a penalty kick and the guy's moving, where it looks like his whole body is covering the entire goal. Like, where am I going to shoot this thing? How he's moving before the guy kicks.
So I actually missed the penalty. Was it blocked or was it missed?
No, it was blocked. But he I guess he dove and the guy kicked his way, and he just pushed it out with one hand as he was falling down. It was a good penalty, just a great reflex.
Speaking of
shot.
Hey, speaking of goalkeepers, Chuy Corona, he's out. Did I read that right? Corona, he's out on injury.
It doesn't matter because he's just he's old news.
So is Memo. Memo got scored on twice.
Did they win or lose?
They lost, I think.
So that was one of the other things I wanted to touch on. If you guys wanted to talk about some of the, I know it's Ronnie's favorite subject, the Europeos, where they're trying to improve themselves.
All right, guys, I'm out. No.
I saw the Porto game. That game was pretty slick. Porto played.
We had 2 goals and 2 assists.
Yeah.
Layun got an assist.
Layun got an assist to Ache. Tecatito scored a goal, like a golazo from far back on the right side, which it was a miss.
Centro.
It was a miss.
It was more of a cross, yeah, I think.
It was a bounce. The ball was bouncing, and he hit it pretty hard, and it just went right into the back of the net. That was pretty slick. And I think Layun got another assist as well.
Assist.
Good for them. It's a team like that, especially for Corona. If he just gets any kind of consistency and starts playing well, he's got a major payday ahead of him. Because that's what they do. Porto, they just, think of how many great players got their start there and then went off to bigger and better things.
Quaresma, Teco.
Chucky Lozano is the next Tecatito. That guy's got some skills.
Yeah, he's really good.
So yeah, hopefully we'll see.
You know what? I haven't been really impressed with Chucky Lozano because every time he goes up against Dedos Lopez, I've said this before, I know. I didn't get Alzheimer's, but so I think, I don't know if Dedos Lopez is a really good defender or if.
Well, let me ask you this: Do you watch Chucky play games outside of Chivas games?
Well, I saw him in the Olympics, and I thought he was. He was coming in as a sub. In the Olympic qualifiers, he looked very dynamic. What I mean is he's good improvisational skills, but I think he needed like, what, you're right. He reminds me of Tecatito in that they're not completely polished.
Well, he's a young kid.
Yeah, he's still a kid, but
I haven't seen him on Liga MX too much.
Well, see, that's the problem I have with Dom is that Dom is like, I mean, he's just like those guys, except he only has one dominant foot, and and I'm sorry, but if you're going to play the modern game, you have to be able to use both feet.
Leo Messi.
Carlos Vela.
Yeah, I mean, I know that Messi favors his left, but I mean, he's not going to not shoot at the net because his right is shit. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
It's
Carlos Vela.
he's going to score with his right.
I was going to say that Vela seems like very one-footed.
That's why I love Chicharito so much because he's going to do whatever it takes to score. Right? He's going to he'll use his dick if he has to. I mean, I'm being dead serious. He's like, oh man, the only play.
Chivas training method. I can't discuss any further.
Yeah. It's okay.
I'm sorry, how do you use your penises? What?
I can just hear Chicharito when he's older. He's like, I scored that one off my dick.
They got looking that the Honduran guy that got implicated. He basically Rafael Callejas. He checked himself into an emergency hospital. I think he's trying to, I think for health reasons.
Is he having a?
He's gonna go with a temporary insanity plea.
Who knows?
Man, those guys aren't going to get extradited. They're just ain't going to happen.
So
the one thing that cracked me up about Bill Archer's article is that he blasts Jack Warner like Jack Warner is the devil himself, and never mentions Blazer in the same breath. And Blazer did as much, if not worse.
What's that? Repeat that again.
So that always cracks me up about Bill Archer, and even in his article where he, just. Always get double barrels. Jack Warner, thinks he's like the worst, the worst human on the planet, and Chuck Blazer did the exact same thing.
I know. According to him, he's
worse.
A whistleblower.
Yeah,
he's a whistleblower, and I'm like, that guy's an idiot.
He's just a spazo. It's just rooting for anything that's a gringo. So it really, his opinion is kind of irrelevant.
He was the brains behind the operation, right?
Who, Blazer?
Absolutely.
Yeah, Blazer. Yeah, and then he had the other one. The other one was a bad cop,
Yeah, I mean, if you read the first the first report, the first justice report that came out, it was actually Warner was the one that was telling Blazer was telling the Warner, said, hey man, we got to move now. Because the window of opportunity is closing because of the elections and stuff like that. If we don't do it now, it's now or never.
This Toluca defense is brilliant. Wow, even the I don't know how to explain it, but it's just great. They're just snuffing every single thing that Tigres throws at them.
Wow.
Even though they're playing with like 8-9 men.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a surprise if they don't leave at least with a 1-goal advantage. But credit to them, they seem to be holding on.
Well, has Tigres put on Chilindrina yet? Because that's usually what he'll do when he needs a goal, and usually gets it.
Yeah, he's in.
Is he in already?
He's replaced Dom.
Yeah, well, then it's only a matter of time.
So Aquino's on the right, and then.
I was going to say, I'm surprised they didn't actually replace Aquino. Didn't he usually play on that side? On the left?
Well, Aquino's been having a great game. Then he go to his natural right side. He was having
Aquino was on the left at the beginning because Dam was in on the right. And now.
What a pass by the keeper.
Is on the left.
Oh, what a hack. Oh, my God.
They still got about, 20 minutes left on the game?
No, there's still 18 minutes, actually. Oh,
so, John, did you get a chance to actually watch the game?
The Pumas game? I was keeping my eye on it. I wasn't giving it my 100% of my attention, but America had so many chances in the first half that it was when they kept missing. It was I'm sure that was tough for an America fan to take. Because
that penalty. What do you think? Did you see the penalty or not the penalty? The goal that was called off.
No, I didn't see that.
Okay, you have to check
They
the
have-
replay on that.
'Cause
we were arguing.
so are we blaming the refs now? Is that what we're saying?
Well,
Yes,
Whoa.
actually.
you missed out on the Jimmy's wrestling.
Ah,
That's-
yes. The blaming the referee, the loser's lifeline. Oh, it was the ref's fault.
Oh,
That's great
There was a
stuff.
lot of that going on.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I got to see like I saw the red card from and then I checked my phone because I was just kind of halfway. Then I realized they were down to 9 dudes. And it was only 1-0, and I was like, Pumas, has to score another goal, or else it's gonna. I think that'd be a problem. And then America kept attacking. I was like, what are y'all doing? It cracked me up. I mean, they could have defended that 1-0 to the death, and been in great
when they
shape.
took
But instead, they went in and were attacking.
Well, they wanted to lose with style, I guess. So in the end, the
You think
They
they
were-
were
bunker.
make a
They
comeback?
were still awarded Miss Photogenic, but they lost. they couldn't get the crown.
You think
Oh,
they can?
man.
You think they can come back?
They have to score. They have to win by 4.
No,
Yes, they
no,
do.
there's no way.
Yeah,
I
they have to
don't
win by
think they have a
4.
chance.
So it's pretty much done.
Done and dusted, as they say now. You know. Pumas once went to Santos when they were like the 18. Santos was super leader, and they won 3-0 the first one, and then they like barely hung on to. I think it was like 5-1 or 4, whatever it was. It was like they had the one goal that kept them alive. Or
Well, same thing
whatever
happened
the
last
difference
season
was.
too. The last championship when we won 6-0 going into the second and made it harder than it should have been. So I mean, I think that happens, but that's 4 goals. That's rough.
Yeah, 4 away goals on top of it. That was the best part. Was that it was at the Azteca.
I was actually
So,
impressed with the Pumas defense the entire game.
Well, dude. I mean, you understand that they've only allowed 4 goals at home in the entire season, right? And 3 of those were in one game.
What was that? They've only allowed 4 goals at home all season.
Yeah, and 3 were in one game.
What would a Toluca Pumas final be like?
Have you ever seen A Clockwork Orange where they have to hold Alex's eyelids open and they keep putting the drops in so his eyes don't dry out?
I
Toluca's
saw
had
how
their
they did
chances.
that to Santa's Little Helper too, right?
Exactly. Oh, here's the penalty save. Very nice. They just aired it if y'all are watching on Univision.
I'm watching on my phone, so I'm like a minute behind you guys, I think.
Okay, yeah, so you'll see the penalty save here in a second if you didn't see it. But anyway. But I mean, yeah, I mean that was the difference. I mean, when America did not look, Pumas got a goal and it was great, and the other maybe it's like whatever. But it was 1-0 when the first guy went down, and then it was still 1-0 when the second guy went down. At that point, you're like, okay, let's minimize the damage. It's only 1-0. Let's keep it that way. And these guys are. I mean, I saw a counterattack where 6 America players were sprinting down the field, right?
Well, that's how the second goal came in.
Yeah.
It was off a corner. Then that they tried
what a
to
block.
do a counter, and it was a bad pass that the America player did, and
Right.
I guess it got intercepted really quickly, and then it was just like another counter, and then that was that.
Yeah, I mean, and that's my point. It's like why on earth would they do that?
And there was like 2 Pumas players ready there. Like I know Ludueña just missed hitting putting in the second goal, and then there was like 2 other Pumas players just waiting there to put it in.
Right, and then the third goal was nice, and then after that, boom! I said, you know what, we got 3. Let's make sure that nothing crazy happens, and they just salted it away. But I mean, to me, that was the key was that for whatever reason, America thought that they needed to score a goal down 1-0, and it was.
That's what I was
Bad
kind of hoping
tactical decision.
that Ronnie would talk about. Like I was just wondering, like the changes that they made just seemed. I don't know. They put in Guemes at the very end. I thought maybe that they would have put him in like in the very beginning, like once they got down to 10, just to try to hold everything down and just minimize the damage.
Well, I didn't see the whole game, but I mean, to me, that was absolutely. I mean, yeah. There was a game when the last time Pumas won the title. They went their first round was Monterrey, and that was after Monterrey had won a couple of championships. They were really good, so they were like a low seed in the tournament, but they were still a great team. and they scored 2 goals like in the first 10 minutes. I mean, they were just destroying. I mean, it was disgusting. And then they got a third one like 10 minutes later, so it's 3-0. I'm still thinking, man, these guys could make it 6 or 7-0 easily the way Pumas is playing right now, but they didn't. And then Pumas got a late one at the end, so it was 3-1, so they minimized the damage. And they won 2-0 the next leg, and they went through to the next round. So it's like, you know, don't put yourself in those situations if you don't have to.
Well, I think it was La Puentismo that did America in tonight. They wanted to lose with style, and
Well, attacking is
They get
not
the
really
result.
Batista style, dude. But that's what I was gonna ask: is you guys think Nacho Man's out? Then you think he'll give?
No, not at all. I don't think that's
I don't think
Pelaez's
it should be.
style.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because it's kind of a bad meltdown, right?
it ain't over yet. But and then they got to go to Japan next week. So no,
I don't know if I'd call it a meltdown. It's just these
It's a
games
bad
happen,
game,
man.
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I mean, well, you get one bad call and it could definitely snowball on you. I think it'd be really stupid to fire him.
I mean, in all honesty,
he's done
America
well
could
with
have
the team.
very easily have pulled one back at the end, and when they were taking some long shots as they should have been, and they
Two
almost,
red cards, and a 3-0 goliza. You guys don't consider that a meltdown?
well, I think that when it's like 4 or 5 is when it's a meltdown. But I mean, it's the playoffs. I mean, it's it happens.
I think
Not every-
I would agree that it's a meltdown in the terms of it being a horrible result
Yeah, but it's
and
not a
probably
job killer,
ruining their
though.
chances. But exactly, I wouldn't call it a job killer. But this is America, so
Yeah, but that's not Pelaez's style. Pelaez is not going to react like that. And again, they have to go to Japan in 3 days or whatever the hell it is. So
that's another thing too.
well, that's obviously what it was. They were just saving themselves for their impending win against Barcelona. Well,
Yeah,
once they
Kino
get
get
past the
hurt.
Chinese team, because
Peralta
I'm
out
sure
now?
that everyone wants to see the Ventura Alvarado Luis Suarez matchup. That's going to be great. That's going to really.
There's
really
going to be pictures of Yo Quiero Way Alvarado.
Who was the poor? Was it Bayern Munich last year? The guy that Leo Messi pretzeled.
that
He
was
scored that goal?
that bone. It starts with a B. I know it's
Boateng?
Trent Boateng. Yeah.
Yeah, both. I wonder how many pretzels that's going to happen to the America backline when they play Barcelona.
I pay too much attention to the game right now.
I know the game's getting good.
Yeah, I know. It's like we're like trying to. Tigres is trying best they can, but can't crack that nut. So I don't know if you guys want to just continue talking about the game, or if you want to do a little play, or if there's anything else that you guys wanted to talk about.
Tiro libre for Tigres right now. Looks like it wasn't deserved because it was not a foul.
I know, Beto, you briefly touched on Memo. Apparently he got a rare start today and allowed 2 goals. Did anybody catch that? I didn't watch it.
So they're eliminated, right? So that means that Ochoa's career is over for Malaga today.
I watched it I didn't watch it. I saw all the stuff on Twitter, and everyone's going crazy. I think all the Malaga fans are blaming Memo for it.
So the goals were on him?
So a guy doesn't play for 6 months and it's his fault.
Yeah, their whole team stinks, so it's not his fault. But yeah,
Haven't they fired the coach? Doesn't he have a new coach?
I have no idea.
Because a new coach could do wonders for him. Well, I just don't understand why whoever brokered the deal that he took did not do their due diligence, knowing that the goalkeeper coach and the Kameni are both from Cameroon.
I know.
I mean, come on.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's not the smartest move.
Yeah, Hugo Sanchez on Football Picante, we're talking months ago, brought that up, to them. I didn't even know that then. And I was like, what? And you're right. Memo's agent should have caught wind of that.
Yeah. I just think that his bad decision was leaving the French league. I think he should have stayed in the French league. I think he could have gotten a look at at a mid-table to decent team in the French league, and then that way he can get his passport, and that way he can go wherever he wants after that. See, that's his problem, is that he doesn't have his passport. He doesn't have his Euro passport. So he still counts as a foreigner, and it's so hard. I mean, you have to be a top 5 goalkeeper for them to waste a foreigner spot on a goalie.
Now, well, how many years was he at the French team? Like 2 years, 3 years?
Achoo.
¿Qué pasó?
I think he was
Sorry about that.
he was there for 3 seasons, or was it just 2?
He was at Ajaccio for 3 years.
Okay. And how
But
does
I don't know what the France rules are, though.
I was gonna say, do each country has their own set of rules?
Yeah, they do.
I know Spain is like 4.
I thought it was
See that-
2 for Spain.
No, it's 4. But I don't know. That's what I said to me. It's like, why on earth did he leave France? Because that way, whatever the French rules is, he could have stayed for 2 or 3 more years and easily gotten his, his thing. And he's a commodity. He's a known commodity there. It just didn't make any sense to me why he would make that move. Like it was the as dumb a career move as Giovanni going to Tottenham. Just killer moves.
Yeah, this Carlos Vela to MLS is gaining steam, eh?
Those guys are starting to act like Cartuchos Quemados and they're 25. I don't understand.
Yeah, well, if they want to retire early, that's up to them. They want to cash out.
I think he might be weak mentally, man.
Well, he wants his big payday, like Giovanni got.
Is it weak or is it just lack of interest? I mean, can you really fault a guy for being indifferent?
Well, I guess that's what I meant, sort of. Lack of interest.
I think that he
burnt out, maybe.
He sees it as a job and nothing else. I think that's and that's
I don't know. I guess I can I can sympathize to an extent. I mean, and let's be face it. I mean, I don't think no matter what they did at this point, short of winning the World Cup or starting and winning us the World Cup. I mean, I think everyone's come to grips with they've underwhelmed. I mean, I think we had unfair expectations on them, like when they were just fresh off the Under-17 World Cup, but they're just. I still think they're great players. I mean, or they were great players for us, especially Gio. But I mean, I think it's more us that I think we're not going to get to see see them progress how we would have wished them to.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt that their career trajectory was not. We would have.
And they had rough starts. It wasn't just Gio too. I mean, Vela was stuck. Kind of in limbo with Arsenal for a while, and then where did he go to?
He went to
Salamanca or something.
No, West Bromwich Albion first.
Right. He did play in Salamanca. When he transferred from Chivas, he went to Celta de Vigo, and then he was at Salamanca. Had a good season there, and I think.
And then he went to Osasuna.
Yeah, and then I think. Osasuna, he played Osasuna season. Then he went back to Arsenal, and he just simply couldn't cut it. He couldn't handle. I don't know what it was. Maybe he didn't like the weather. Maybe he didn't. His NBA feed wasn't any good. And that's after that he went to Albion. Kind of sat on the bench because
we have the Mexican Messi entering the game now, so watch out.
Who, Vela? Or you mean
Arellano.
Oh.
Wait.
Petardo Arellano in.
That poor guy had a really good career going, and then he shit himself against the U.S. and he's never been the same since. I mean, he literally crapped his pants. He had like a huge nasty stain.
What's that? He's got like some India Maria haircut now.
I did not like.
You know what? On the Vela subject, I'm really disappointed in that guy.
Oh my God!
I think he had the tools to be one of the greats of the game, but he just didn't have the hunger for it.
Damn, people are yelling all kinds of trash to Gignac, man.
So you think it's a done deal? He's probably MLS bound either, probably more than likely summer.
I think it's going to happen in the winter transfer window. If it's going to happen.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a big payday. It's gonna happen
Big payday for who though?
for Vela.
He's probably
So-
going to make like $4 or $5 million a year.
So Sociedad really gonna throw away their whole season and risk relegation? Because aren't they like? Isn't he like their only one there? I'm thinking they're gonna not want to get rid of him like at this point.
I think they want to cash in before they relegate.
That's a good point.
Well, they're a feeder club, so that's their whole mission in life is to be flipping players, be selling them. I mean, they got him for what? How much did they pay for him?
Like $3 million.
So, that's a hefty profit, even
Yeah.
if they only sell him.
They're going to
10.
sell him for 7 or 8, and then he's going to make he gets 10% of that. And he'll get his new
Well, I think they're in all
contract,
kinds
which
of
they'll
teams.
probably get a piece out of.
I've heard the Crew, San Jose. Oh,
Weren't
wait,
they offering like $10 million a year in the MLS? Or is
Oh,
that
it won't be
just-
that much, but it'll be probably between like 4 and 6 is my guess.
I read somewhere that it was rumored he was gonna make $8 million a year if he went to Chicago.
Yeah, I mean, he gets to be closer to favorite sport and watch it live.
What's going on there, man?
Yeah, who's getting beat?
Oh, sorry, boys. I have a fire going. It's a very chilly, like 40 degrees here in Austin. So
I thought someone was getting a BJ in a car.
Yep.
John, I actually have an honest question for you since you're doing that.
What's that?
I failed miserably starting one the other day. How do you get it started, man? Like, what do you need?
well, you can buy like little fire
And
starters.
I think my wife is laughing in the background. I think she actually heard the question, so I think she's literally laughing at me right now. So go ahead, please.
Yeah, so you get they'll sell like little fire starters. It's like you basically press sawdust soaked in oil, and you use those. But really, the key to it is like to get a good fire going is you have to have pieces of charcoal because that stuff heats up much faster. So my trick is you do those little. If you don't have a gas thing, do those little things. Put some charcoal on top, get that going, and then you put your wood on top of that, and then you'll be fine the rest of the night. Just keep feeding it wood.
The way I do it, use oil. Pour the oil.
That's the Mexican way, man.
Yeah, what you do is you get a can of gas.
No, you
You
put oil
soak.
in like a little cup.
You soak the lumber in gas for 2 hours.
Then you get a huge fan and just fan it with your
That's
hand.
right.
It's the
Oh, man,
redneck
you
way.
use cardboard. You use a cardboard.
Yeah, the cardboard.
That'll work too. There's many ways of doing it. Of course, you also have to have, there's another key component is it has to be cold or coldish because the cold air you'll get a nice draft of the air feeding the fire as it shoots through the chimney.
Wow.
So that helps as well.
All right, guys. I'm going to call it a night. Good night. You guys going to continue much longer?
No, I'm
We're
gonna
at
call
the
it
90
mine as
minute
well.
mark, so about to end.
Yeah, the game's about to end in 2 minutes.
Minuto 90. So,
I
well,
got
hey,
a
man,
91 here.
it was a pleasure chatting with you all again.
Yeah, man, it's been good.
Yeah, likewise. I really enjoyed this podcast.
Yeah, it's a good talk. It was fun wrestling Ronnie's Jaimes.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, we're glad we got that sorted out. That
It was fun seeing Upset for a change. But honestly, guys, thanks for letting me host today, and hopefully we'll do another show on Monday. So thanks, Fernando, Joel, John, Juan, Beto, and Ronnie. Unless anybody has anything else to say, I guess we could probably end this now, or are we gonna wait till the final whistle, or has it blown already?
No,
it's
we
only
can
like
end
30 seconds left.
All right, I
That's
got
all right.
50 seconds according to mine.
I don't
10
think
seconds.
I don't think anything is going to happen in the fourth.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
But hey, it's always great talking. We'll talk next week. Talk to you later.
Wow, tiro de esquina, tiro de esquina.
All right, man. See you guys.
All right, guys.
Oh wow, the Toluca, the Tigres, is it the Tigres goalie taking a dive? Oh,
Club.
never mind.
Peace.